Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a scientific report with a claim that is, well, it's truly mind-bending. The idea is that a simple photograph of you can actually change your blood from miles away. We're going to break down exactly how this experiment was done and what it supposedly found.
So let's just get right to it. This is the central question of this pretty unusual study. It's a premise that really pushes the boundaries of what most of us think is possible. So let's unpack how these researchers even tried to answer it.
All right, to understand this, we first have to look at who was involved and what they were trying to figure out. Okay, so you've got two main players here. On one side, you have the client, a US company called Quantum-Upgrade LLC. They're the ones who wanted their product tested. And on the other side, you've got the researchers themselves, this Austrian organization called IFVSE.
And just so we're clear, that name, IFVBS, it stands for the International Association for Bioenergetic System Analysis. They're the team in Austria that actually designed the experiment and ran all the tests.
So really, this whole thing, it comes down to two big questions. Number one, can this product actually affect a person's blood from 8 kilometers away just using a photo? And number two, maybe even more importantly, if it can, is that effect a good thing? Is it harmonizing, as they put it?
So that leads to the obvious next question: what in the world is this quantum upgrade product that's at the heart of all this?
Well, according to the report, this isn't something you hold in your hand or plug into the wall. It's described as a quantum energy streaming service. The claim is that it works remotely, using this idea of quantum entanglement. You've probably heard of it, that bizarre concept where two particles get linked, and whatever you do to one instantly affects the other, even if they're miles and miles apart.
And the way the report describes this technology is pretty poetic, actually. They call it a quantum sun, saying it radiates energy in all directions, and it's supposedly not limited by things like Earth's magnetic fields.
I get this. The list of things it supposedly does is, well, it's long. The report says it's designed for everything from neutralizing EMFs from your Wi-Fi and phone to cleaning up weird frequencies in water, all the way to just supporting general wellness and even like harmonizing the energy in your house.
Okay, so with claims that big, the researchers obviously needed a way to test if any of it could be measured. So here's how they set up the experiment.
The main tool they use for this is something called dark field microscopy. The report also calls it live blood analysis, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. They take a fresh drop of blood, put it under a microscope, and they can watch, in real time, what the cells and plasma are doing. The procedure they came up with was actually pretty simple, a classic before and after. Step 1, they take a before blood sample. Step 2, they snap a photo of the person. Step 3, they take that photo, drive it 8 kilometers away, and stick it in the quantum upgrade device for just 15 minutes. And then right after that, step 4, they take a final after blood sample to see if anything changed.
Now, this is a key detail. The report really emphasizes that this was a double-blind study. That means that while the 13 subjects knew they were part of a blood test, they had no idea when that 15-minute exposure was happening or even really what the quantum upgrade device was.
All right, so they ran this test on 13 different people. The big question is, what did that live blood analysis actually show? Let's take a look at the documented results for a couple of the subjects.
First up, we've got subject P1. The report describes her as a young woman, born in '99, who is pregnant and dealing with chronic fatigue and stress. The study also notes she had, and I'm quoting here, an unhealthy dead diet.
Okay, so her before blood sample showed this thing called money roll formation. It's where the red blood cells are all clumped together in stacks, like coins, which is not great for blood flow. But then you look at the after sample, taken just 15 minutes after that remote photo exposure, and the report claims that that clumping was completely abolished. The cells were now moving freely.
Okay, let's look at another one. Subject P3. This was a man born in 1968 who was reporting things like headaches and low energy, with a diet that the study said was low in nutrients.
And just like the first subject, his before sample showed some of that same red blood cell clumping. But again, according to the document, the after sample showed a clear improvement. The clumping was gone, other stress markers had disappeared, and the overall flow just looked better. So these were just two examples, but the report says this was the general pattern they saw across all 13 subjects. So, after all that, what was the official conclusion from the researchers?
Well, the study's conclusion is pretty direct.
The IFVBSA states right in its summary that the experiment clearly showed the quantum upgrade was able to harmonize the stress factors in the blood. They say it transformed the blood into a more vital, healthy state.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway question from a study like this. The researchers used a double-blind setup, they documented what looked like pretty significant changes, and they concluded that they proved an effect. So it kind of leaves you wondering, when a study reports results that just seem to defy our normal understanding of how the world works, what does it really take to prove it, and how do we draw the line between a potential scientific breakthrough and just wishful thinking? That's really the core debate that a report like this one brings to the surface.